Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. I apologize for being a little late here. I've had some technical difficulties. I'll talk about that in a second, but first I want to make sure that there's audio in the chat. So let me know if you can hear me. Just want to make sure that everything is sounding okay. I'll wait for chat to reply. Hello, everyone, by the way. Welcome to another live stream. Hopefully I'm not talking to myself and just talking into the abyss. Not okay. Oh, loud and clear. Okay, I'm good. Okay, good, good. No intro today. I was trying to get my intro working, and for some reason, I could not get it up and running. So we're just going to dive right into it. And I want to welcome everyone to another fasting live stream. We can call this an accountability check while we kind of wait for some other people to shuffle in here. I might as well start off with this. Today is Sunday, March 24th. You know what I'm going to ask you. You know exactly what I'm going to ask you. Are you waiting till Monday? Are you waiting to start your fasting journey, your weight loss journey, your health and wellness journey on Monday? Or have you been starting now? Have you already been starting? Have you not given up? It doesn't mean that your weekend can't be an enjoyable weekend. It doesn't mean that your weekend can't be time for you to indulge a little bit. What I'm asking is, have you thrown the weekend away because you're waiting till Monday? This is something that I'll probably ask over and over and over until it starts getting through people's heads that we don't have to wait until Monday to start our fasting journey or our weight loss journey or our health and wellness journey. It's so important to remember that life starts today. It started last week. It started last year. It started for as long as you've been alive. Your health and wellness journey, your health and happiness journey, or being happy and healthy is something that you should be striving for day in and day out. I think for me, I have always been in that mindset of today didn't work out the way I intended to. So I'm just going to throw the day away. I'm just going to eat whatever I want to eat and pay no mind to how much it costs. I'm not going to get my work done. I'm not going to do the things that I had told myself to do because I want to do nothing but eat and just forget about all the problems for today. And I think in some form or fashion, we all do that to an extent, but for some of us who just let the entire day go and don't even take care of the simple things because you want to just focus on eating and forgetting about everything, I think that is where the real problem begins. I think that is the issue that a lot of us tend to do, or maybe that's why you're here, because it is something that happens to you over and over and over. With that being said, hopefully you didn't wait till Monday. Hopefully you're not waiting until tomorrow. Hopefully you're not waiting until midnight tonight in whatever time zone you're in. If it is something that you're doing, if it is something that you're actually admitting, I get it. I've been there. But remind yourself, ask yourself that question. When was the last time you did this? How often do you do this? How often do you cycle the same pattern over and over and over, only finding yourself digging a deeper hole, only finding yourself asking the question, why do I keep doing this? Why does this keep happening? Why me? If any of that sounds familiar, if any of that relates to you at all, I say those things because that is what's happened to me. This is something that I have been doing for decades in my life. And only recently have I been able to really just get back on the ball again. Actually, today is day 140, if I'm correct, of my fasting journey. Day 140. This marks 5 months exact, 20 weeks to this day. 20 weeks ago is when I started my fasting journey. 20 weeks ago is when I was 78 pounds heavier. 20 weeks ago is when I decided, okay, this is my, well, it was technically on a Sunday, right? I think. But yes, that was my quote unquote Monday. That was my quote unquote restart. And it is a restart that I don't want to have to do again. I try to remind myself every day that my life is now and that think about this for a hot second. Think about if I were to just sign off of here and decide to throw the day away and tell myself I'm going to start tomorrow. Do you know how crazy that would sound? And I get it, right? Like I've worked so hard to get to this day right now to imagine to throw it all away. It doesn't really make sense to restart and come back tomorrow and be like, hey guys, welcome to day one of my fasting journey. You'd be like, well, what's wrong with you? That's crazy. And as crazy as that may sound, that is how a lot of us perform what we're trying to do. And instead of just accepting the day for what it is, accepting the day for its imperfections, accepting the day for its ups and downs, instead we're striving or looking for perfection when that isn't what we should be striving for whatsoever. No point in doing that when you can just pick up the pieces. You can, I guess, roll with the punches and you can get yourself back up and move forward. It doesn't mean you have to restart and say, hey, welcome to day one for yourself. It can be a fast that you didn't complete. It could be an eating window that went on too long. It could have been a social event that came last second and you decided to go. And instead of feeling guilty for yourself, relish in the fact that life happens. Relish in the fact that you had friends who invited you to go out and enjoy some time together. And every once in a while, it's okay to indulge. It's okay to enjoy the weekend. But I think it's really important to also be very mindful of what you're doing. And instead of just saying, nothing else matters, whatever, it's fine. I'm just going to eat whatever. I'm just going to do whatever and be careless and be reckless with either your life or your health. I don't really think that's the way to go. At least the way I look at it now. Things have changed so much for me in what I've been doing. And when I talk about rewiring our brains and rethinking about the things that we do and being aware of what's happening when we put foods put food in our mouth or decide to go for a walk or make these healthier choices, I think just being aware of making that choice or saying, nah, today I'm just going to, take a break. Or today I am going to eat a little more and it's going to be fine. There is a big difference between that and just saying, doesn't matter. I'm not going to hit the timer because what does it matter? And the thing is, it does matter because when you really think about it, Think about how long it takes before you get back on the wagon again. Think a- think about how long it takes before you hit that fasting timer again. It's those little changes, it's those little parts of your brain that you need to rewire, that you need to rethink about what you're doing and ask yourself, am I prioritizing my health? Is this going to be beneficial for me? And it doesn't mean that it has to be perfect. It doesn't mean that you have to eat brown rice and skinless chicken breast and broccoli every day. It doesn't mean that you have to fast for a week and only eat in an hour every single week that passes by. That's not what this is about. This is about incorporating your healthier habits, using them as tools in your toolbox, and moving forward with your life, enjoying your life, realizing that at the end of the day, there is some type of balance when it comes to a lot of this. Okay, so welcome again to day 140 of my fasting journey. This is 5 months exact that I have been performing rolling fasts, that I have been just consistently prioritizing my health. But this isn't only just day 140 for me. This is also day 3 of maintenance. If you're wondering what that is, that means that I hit my goal weight 3 days ago. And I'm currently working to make sure that my weight now stays the same. This is a completely new journey for me. This isn't me trying to lose more weight. This is me trying to keep my weight at 140 pounds, more or less, with a little range, a little under and a little over, but I'll get into that in a little bit. It's weird. It's weird to be where I'm at right now, to think that I have lost 78 pounds in less than 5 months. It was 4 months, 3 weeks, and 5 days that I have lost 78 pounds. And to think that I don't have to lose any more weight, that I can be happy at this weight, is very weird and very surreal at the short amount of time that it's happened. And I have a whole plan on how I'm going to do this. And I'm going to talk about that in a bit as well. I do want to take a second though and kind of um, share a little bit of what I was like 5 months ago, because it's 5 months exact. 5 months exact. I want to share this photo, and I've shared this photo before. I'm sure you guys have seen this before, but I have this photo of me on October 31st of 2023. So just a little over 5 months ago. This is me dressed up as Mario when I was working at the photo studio I was at. We had to all dress up, even though we were taking pictures of people, and I dressed up as Mario. Just a really simple outfit to wear. Now, I bring this up because I want to share a little something. This is right. This, what I was wearing here was about 5 months ago. I was wearing a size extra large polo. I was wearing size 38 pants. And you can see most of that weight is around my gut, right? Today I am now 75-ish, right? 78 pounds lighter. I've gone from a size 38 to a 28. And the reason I bring this picture up, this one here specifically, is because I actually have that polo and I want to put that polo on just so you can see. And you can see, if you look at this photo here, can I zoom into this? I think I can. if you look into this photo, like you'll see that it's pretty tight around here. I mean, these pants were whatever, right? Um, but I want to take a second and find that shirt. So give me 1 second and I'll be right back. We might as well do a fit check as well. When I say fit check, that's just to show you like kind of how I'm looking right now at 75-ish pounds lighter. I did eat 2 days ago, so I'm not exactly under 140 right now because I've obviously gained weight from the refeed. But again, just really quick, this is the photo, right, of me in that polo. This is the polo right now. But let me just throw this on really quick just so you guys can see. Oh, by the way, this shirt is a boys large. This Ghostbuster shirt is a boys large. But I'll do more of a fit check later, but um that's me right now. But give me 1 second. I'm going to throw this shirt on. Okay, so just to remind you again of this photo, right? And then this is me wearing the same shirt right now. So literally the same, literally the same shirt. And you can see how it fits around me fine in this photo and where this fits today, right? And you can see how big this shirt is, and it fits so well because I had such a big belly, I had such a big gut that I could only wear an extra large. And for other people who probably wear extra large, you're like, well, that's not that big, but I'm also 5'3". So this is me wearing an extra large being 5'3", and this is me 78 pounds lighter, 75. I mean, just look at, I'm like swimming. I'm like swimming in this shirt. Like this is the extra. Sometimes when I talk about wearing a boy's large, it's hard to really tell how small it is when you start comparing it to what I'm wearing. And actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this off so I can compare what polos I wear now to what this one looks like. So hold on. All right. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this correctly, but this polo is what I wear now. I mean, this is literally how much bigger this polo is that I was only wearing 5 months ago to what I can wear today. Anyway, just an FYI. That's 5 months, guys. That's literally 5 months ago. I mean, a little over 5 months because that was taken on Halloween. I started my fasting journey November 6th, so this was not even a week before I restarted. And I was literally fitting into that. Literally me 5 months ago to where I'm at today. So I say that and I show that because even though 5 months might seem like a long time from now, that time goes by pretty quick. And when I talk about throwing the day away and I talk about how long does it take you to actually get back into the swing of things before you eventually cycle through the same type of deal again, think about all of that time that you've done that. Every time you've said, I'm just going to start Monday, I'm just going to start next week. If you think about how often you've said that and how long it took for you to cycle back, has that time added up to about a month, 2 months, 5 months? Think about where you would be if you just stopped throwing the day away over and over and over. I think when you kind of look at it in that time frame or in that sense, maybe it clicks with people in a different way. Maybe you start to realize, oh, like I didn't realize that it's time wasted is kind of what I'm getting at. It's time wasted where you don't give yourself the opportunity to learn from what you're doing. You don't give yourself the opportunity to look at what you did. If it wasn't perfect and you don't hit the timer and you walk away from it, you don't really learn from it. You just do the same thing over and over again. You're not understanding, like, okay, today was tough. Why was it tough? Why couldn't you get through it? Were you really hungry or was it a moment of weakness? Did you not have the discipline? Are you not building the discipline because you keep throwing the day away? As I've been doing this over and over and over again, it's so interesting to me how much I keep learning about myself. It's interesting how I'm getting so much better at understanding my emotions and how I deal with things and how I use food to cope, how I am addicted to food in a lot of ways. And it's just, it doesn't mean that these things ever go away. Like these feelings of wanting to give up or wanting to throw the day away, those feelings don't really go away completely. They're still prevalent in my mind, especially when I have a bad day, especially when things are tough or I'm stressed out. The only thing I want to do is eat and lay on this couch and not worry about anything else. And then I start to remind myself, Jerome, you've gotten this far. You've done so much. How can you just do that? And so sometimes I can talk myself back into just realizing, okay, you know what? Just whatever happens, happens, but like don't just give up completely. And that takes a lot of effort. And so I understand when people want to throw the day away because they just don't like what's happening. They want to forget about it. But I want people to think about how often that happens and how often we use food as an answer to so much of what's happening with us. You're using food because you had a bad day at work. Using food because you had an argument with, your significant other. You're using food because you're bored. You're already using food to celebrate and when you're happy and when something great happens. And those are those are things that happen. I get it. But we can't use food for every single occasion. We can't use it every single time. It doesn't mean you can't use food to celebrate. It doesn't mean you can't use food to go out to dinner and be a family or be with friends. It doesn't mean you can't do that. But I think using it for every situation because you're sad, because you're upset, because you're bored, I've asked myself this question and I've just talked about this recently, but when you start saying I'm eating because I'm this, that, and the other, is that really the case? Or are you using food because you're addicted to it? And you're just using these other emotions as an excuse to just enjoy the food you're eating because you're addicted to it. That's a question I've been asking myself a lot lately. I talk to you all about using food for comfort, using food when I'm stressed out, using food if I have a bad day. And lately, I've been telling myself, I think I might just be saying some of those things once in a while because honestly, I just want to eat and I want that dopamine hit of eating shitty foods. And I like the way it makes me feel. And when I start to say it that way, then it sounds like I have a problem. Then it sounds like I'm addicted to food. And maybe it's that, or maybe it is stress. Maybe it's a combination of it all. But using food to solve those things or fill in the gaps, there has to be other ways. There has to be other ways to cope. There has to be other ways to I guess what I'm trying to say is these are unhealthy approaches and you will get that dopamine hit and it will make you feel good for that short amount of time. Trust me, I know. Even me sitting here right now talking about it, thinking about just enjoying food and doing nothing else sounds great right now. Sounds awesome. I would love to do that right now. I would love to lay on this couch, put something on YouTube or Netflix or whatever, and just eat the night away. That sounds amazing to me. But I also know doing something like that is not going to answer or solve the real issues at hand. It's not going to answer the root issue of why I'm sad or why I'm upset. One of the things that I think about too is sometimes life happens and you can enjoy and indulge, but there are other times when life happens and shit sucks and you just have to grin and bear it. You just have to sit with those feelings. You have to accept what's happening and not use food as the answer and maybe face those issues or just, I guess, learn more about yourself, figure out that personal growth. I don't even have those answers, right? Like I can't tell you exactly why we do some of those things, but I think the sooner we realize the shit we're doing isn't healthy, I think the better we can be at changing the way we think about how we act, the decisions we make, and maybe stop using food as the everything answer. Because that's what we're doing. We're using food as the answer to everything. We use food as the way out, the way to forget. And it's weird for me because it's been 5 months and I haven't been using food that way. I mean, I will use food when I refeed, and I have a lot of those same feelings of pleasure, and especially if I'm refeeding on a day where I have a bad day, yeah, I think I'm using food as part of that way out. And I don't know how to completely remove myself from that situation. I don't know if I ever can, but if I can sit here and talk about it and explain it and tell my brain that that's what I'm doing, I think that's a step forward. When I work as a coach and I'm talking to people and I ask them questions, sometimes I ask these questions so that they can say them out loud and that they can internalize what's happening and why they're doing what they're doing. Doesn't mean it's going to answer everything. Doesn't mean that they're going to figure their shit out and just stop eating, right? But I think sometimes just admitting to what you're doing, being honest with yourself, I think is a great step forward. I am currently working on my 35th consecutive fast, I believe. So I have done, I'm double checking. Because I had this technical difficulty today, I didn't even get to do all my nerd stats, which I'm really disappointed about, but I'll share what I can. So, yes, I am currently working on my 35th consecutive fast, my 35th consecutive rolling fast. And I'm just going to share where I'm at right now. I am, if I can find, I'm currently 41 hours, almost 42 hours into my 35th consecutive fast. If you see here, this looks like it's only at the halfway mark, which means, yes, I'm doing another 90-hour fast. And if you're asking, Jerome, why are you doing another 90-hour fast? You hit your goal weight. Why are you going to do another 90? Aren't you going to lose weight? Yes, for sure. But I also know that when I hit under 140 a couple days ago, it was the first time I hit under 140 pounds. And I know that's not where my body is currently sitting at. And I can tell because after I refed, I shot right back up past 145, where I didn't want to be. After a refeed, I would love to be under 145. That's where my mind is going, which makes me think that my weight should probably sit somewhere between 137 to 140. But anywhere around there would be good. I think for me, anywhere between 137 and 143 is where I'd like to be. But that's the reason I'm doing another 90 right now, is because I am trying to just get my weight to settle around that point. And then afterwards, I'm going to start doing shorter fasts. But also, I'm going out on Tuesday to eat with friends. And so I thought about it and I was like, well, I could eat today because technically I could eat every other day now. And I think I'd be okay. But I think I'd like to actually settle my weight a little lower, under 140. So that's kind of my thinking when it comes to that. This is still part of my maintenance plan, but it's the very beginning process of it, is to get my weight to settle at 140 pounds. I actually, that's maybe what I'll do, is I'll share where I'm at here. So that is not what I wanted to share. That's the last thing we were doing. Where am I at? Here we go. Okay, so when I talk about maintenance, again, I've lost 78 pounds in 138 days, and I got to my goal weight. And even though I'm on day 140 of my fasting journey, I'm also on now day 3 of my maintenance plan. And you'll see here, day 1 is when I hit my 140-pound goal. And that was accomplished by doing a 93-ish hour fast. It ended up being like 92 hours and I forget what, but I'll show that in a minute. That evening, I refed. I refed for about 6 hours. And the next morning, I weighed in at 145.4 pounds, which is a 5.4 pound gain. Today, I weighed in at 143 pounds. Basically, how this works is every time I refeed, by day 3, I usually will hit the weight I'm normally at. So by looking at this, typically by tomorrow, I should be somewhere around the 140 mark. But I can tell that I might not even be there. I might be like 140.5 pounds or maybe 141 pounds. And if you're asking why, that is because for some reason, the weight really just started coming off these last couple 90-hour fasts. And I think I just need to complete another 90-hour fast to really get my weight to settle in the high 130s and low 140s. So that's my plan with where I'm at. And this is a slide that you are all going to start seeing on a regular basis. I'm going to start sharing exactly what I'm doing on my maintenance plan and how I'm going to be performing it to keep myself at the 140-pound mark, which brings me to what I wanted to talk about. And this is a question that a lot of people ask and is brought up to me a lot. And they talk about after they finish fasting, after people finish water fasting, the question is, how are they able to keep the weight off? How can you keep the weight off after fasting for 3 days or 5 days or a week? Here's the thing is you are always going to gain weight after an extended fast. Regardless if it's 3 days or 30 days, you are going to gain weight back. How much you're going to gain back, that's going to vary from person to person. But the fact of the matter is, you will gain weight back after a fast. A lot of this is going to depend on how much water your body's going to take back. It's going to depend on what you're eating and how much you're eating. But I don't think there's any way around not gaining weight after performing a water fast. Yes, there are probably some instances where you could perform a fast and still lose weight, but I think that might be for people at the very beginning and not for people who have been doing it on a more regular basis. If you've been performing rolling fasts over and over and over, you're going to see the weight come off early on and then kind of taper off as time goes on, depending on what you're doing and how you're refeeding. Now, the maintenance plan or keeping the weight off or making sure you continue to lose weight is a big piece of this, and figuring out how you are going to maintain that weight after going through a 3-day fast or a 5-day fast. It's going to be about balance again. I don't know if people think that if you fast for a week that you can just eat however you ate before that made you gain the weight in the first place. That's your first mistake. That's not how it works. It doesn't mean that you have to do another 7-day fast to keep the weight off. It just means that now you have to figure out those levers of weight loss that I talk about, I guess, in the past and still continue to talk about. And those levers being, okay, you might not have to fast for 7 days, right? You don't have to bring the lever up this high, but maybe after that 7-day fast, maybe it's time for an OMAD. But because you're doing OMAD and you're only giving yourself 23 hours to break from food, you obviously can't eat more than a day's worth because then you'll gain weight. Or that means you can't just sit around and not exercise because you probably need some physical activity to continue to lose weight. It's adjusting those levers after completing a fast to really figure out where you're going to sit. Plus, the fact that after you go through an extended water fast, that weight is going to fluctuate. It's going to go all over the place. I mean, look at me. After I refeed, I usually gain around 5, 6 pounds. 4 to 6 pounds is more like it. Somewhere between 4 and 6 pounds is what I gain after a refeed. And it takes 3 days for my weight to be where it was before the refeed. That's how long it takes. And then by the fourth day, by my 90-hour fast, is when I start losing weight. This is dependent per person because I eat 4, 5, 6,000 calories per refeed. But I do exercise and walk 5, 6 miles a day. I do go to the gym. But how do I know this? Because I've done it for the last 5 months over and over and over. I have all the stats to show and prove that usually by the third day of my fast, I get back to the same level I was at on my previous fast. And that's why I add an extra day so I can get a little lower from the last fast I performed. That is how I've been able to lose weight time and time again. If we're talking about maintaining the weight, if we're talking about keeping that weight, then it's a matter of fasting less and maybe eating less. So if I don't want to fast for 3 days to keep my weight level, I probably need to curb 6,000 calories and maybe eat around 4,500 calories. And then I can fast for around 45 hours instead of 65. And then I don't need to fast for 90 hours to continue to lose weight. Does that make sense? You have to adjust the levers. You have to look at your diet, you have to look at your fasting protocol, you have to look at your exercise, and you have to adjust those levers accordingly to keep the weight where you want it to be. If you want to lose more weight, dial up the fasting lever, dial up the way you eat, right? Fix your diet up, clean it up. Something has to adjust. You have to adjust something to either lose, maintain, or you're going to gain the weight. You can't just go back to what you were doing previously because it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. If you decided to do a 7-day water fast and then you said, okay, now I just want to keep this weight where I'm at. Well, okay, if you want to eat every day and you want to eat 2 or 3 times a day like you used to, you better be really careful about what you're eating. You have to be super mindful about what you're eating because now you're just spiking your insulin up twice, 3 times a day for hours on end, and you're not using excess stores in your body to burn the fat away. Does that make sense? Or you need to dial up the activity so you can burn whatever you just ate to keep that weight maintained. That is That's why there's no one answer because there are so many variables when it comes to this, and it is really about finding what works for you. Oh my God. You know what? I was talking for a while and I didn't even DMMMX1 with $100 super chat. My God. DMMMX1. Thank you for such a generous donation. God, you're crazy with these donations. Hey, Jerome, congrats on maintenance. Thank you. Thank you so much. Do you mind if I call you Mark? I know your name. So maybe that's what I'll just start calling you instead of trying to spell out DMMMX1. I leave for vacation this week. May not get to watch next week or the week after. You're going to WrestleMania? Wow. That's amazing. Hey, enjoy your vacation. I'll catch up when I can. Thanks for inspiring us to better ourselves. Keep doing your routine. You got this. Thank you so much. I mean, my plan is to continue what I'm doing and making sure that I stay on my routine and stay on maintenance. That is, some people might call that easy. Some people might think the hardest part is losing the weight, or some people might think that's the easiest thing is losing the weight and the hardest part is doing the maintenance. But I'll tell you right now, I think the hardest part is doing it all. I really do. I think the hard part is starting. The hard part is being consistent to continuously lose the weight. And I think the hard part is continuing to keep it off and keeping a like positive mindset. So I think all of it is difficult. I think all of it takes a lot of work, but I'm here for it. And I'm here to show and prove to all of you that I might only be on day 3 of maintenance right now, but just like I showed all of you that I could lose the weight in a record time, I want to make sure that I can keep this weight off indefinitely. So Mark, or DMMMX1 with the $100 super chat, thank you for such a generous super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the continued support. Your donations have been super crazy. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So while we're, I guess, showing stats, I might as well go and show you what I do have. I do apologize again. I don't have everything because I was trying to get my intro working and for some reason I could not. So let's go ahead and just get into the stats here. So right now, this is actually a slide that will no longer change. This this slide here shows the 34 fasts that I performed to get to goal weight, to get from 217.8 pounds to 139.8 pounds. These 34 fasts are what I performed to lose 78 pounds. These 34 fasts have averaged 93 hours and 4 minutes. So in the last, for these 34 fasts in 4 months, 3 weeks, and 5 days, 138 days, I have averaged almost a 4-day fast in those 5 months, completing 34 of them, some of them being much longer than others, some of them being a little shorter. Number 5 being almost a week long. Number 33 being about 5 days long, less than 5 days. And then a couple shorter ones in there. But all in all, averaging 93 hours and 4 minutes, a couple hours shy of 4 days. And then here are the 34 refeeds that got me to my goal weight. Yes, refeeds make me gain weight, but I'm talking about how many times I ate during those 138 days. Let that sink in really quick, by the way. In 138 days, in the 138 days it took me to get to my goal weight, I only ate 34 of those 138 days. And those 34 days weren't even all day eating. Those 34 days averaged 4 hours and 23 minutes, about 4.5 hours. So for every 4-day fast, I would eat for about 4.5 hours, followed by another 4-day fast, followed by another 4.5 hour refeed. You will see, though, if you look at the couple last refeeds, they have been much, much longer. Typically, something that I wouldn't do. Typically, I keep my windows much shorter, but the last couple refeeds, I've been spending time doing things socially, being with friends, being with family, and I have started to tell myself that those are important things and I need to give myself a little grace. I need to be okay with not being so black and white and telling myself, Jerome, you can only do 4 hours, under 4 hours. You can't go more than that. If you go more than that, then you're going to fuck it up and you need to start over. This is me trying not to be so black and white, but actually seeing the shades of gray, right? Is learning to do a little balance with what I'm doing. Next slide here. These are all the fasts that I have done to get to losing 78 pounds. All in all, they've averaged about 2.2 pounds. I'll have to double check that number because I don't know if I averaged the last one in there. But for the most part, about 2.2 pounds per fast is what I've lost. And that wasn't the case in the very beginning. In the very beginning, I was losing, God, almost a 47-hour fast at number 1. I lost almost 5 pounds. The following fast, a 67-hour fast, I lost almost 6 pounds. So in the first 5 days, I had lost over 10 pounds already. After that, another 4-pound loss. Compare that to some of the later fasts where I was only losing 0.4 pounds or 0.2 pounds. I will say, surprisingly, the last couple fasts, it was for some reason I kept losing 2 pounds. Number 32, a 92-hour fast, 2.4 pounds. The 114-hour fast, that one I kind of understand because I added an extra day, 2.2 pounds. But then after that, another 93-hour fast equaling 2.6 pounds. Overall, though, I've been losing about 2.2 pounds per fast. I bring that up because I want others to look at that number and realize that every fast you do isn't always going to be the same. Just because you lost 4 pounds the first 90-hour fast, just because you lost 4 pounds the first 60-hour fast doesn't mean that you're going to lose another 4 pounds, 5 pounds, 6 pounds again. It doesn't mean that it's going to be exactly the same every time. There are too many variables. As you start losing weight and as you get closer to goal weight, the weight will not come off as quickly. It won't. Some cases it might, some cases it might not, but you have to trust the process. You have to remember it's not just the weight on the scale. Look at how your clothes fit. Maybe if you are actually measuring yourself, measure around your waist, measure around your chest, measure around your neck. Take those measurements and see if those are things you're actually losing. Are you losing inches off the measuring tape? Forget the scale. What about the inches on the measuring tape? Are you losing inches there? Are your clothes fitting better? Are the smaller clothes that you couldn't wear before, do they fit better now? Or do they fit? Take those things into consideration. Don't always use the scale as the motivating factor, because if you do that and you don't have the discipline, if you're only using the scale as whether you're going to be happy or upset, that is really a big place for failure. You can look at that scale after completing a 60 something hour fast. And if that scale doesn't move the way you want it to move, or if it doesn't show the number you were hoping to see, that can be such a demotivating factor where you might just say, I don't want to do this anymore. What's the point of doing this? Why am I going through all this trouble if I'm only losing zero point 0.4 pounds or zero point 0.6 pounds? And maybe it might not make you throw the day away, but it could also encourage you or discourage you from completing another longer fast. Even though you have the willpower to do it, even though you have the discipline to do it, if you're using the scale as your deciding factor on if you should do another longer fast, you're not doing yourselves any favor by attempting something like that. So don't use the scale as the answer to whether you do something or not. Trust the process, trust in what you're doing. Look at what I've done here. They haven't always been 4 to 6 pounds per 90-hour fast. Again, I have a 93-hour fast here where I lost zero point 0.4 pounds. Think about that for a hot second. Can you imagine if I did a 4-day fast and I lost zero point 0.4 pounds? I'm sure there are a lot of people who would see that and be like, what? I'm not going to do this anymore. But that's not what I did. I continued and I repeated the process and I repeated the process and I repeated the process. And that's why I started taking averages, because if you look at the average, who cares that I did a 4-day fast and I only lost zero point 0.4 pounds? Because really, I've been averaging about 2.2 pounds per 90-hour fast. So much so that I got to my goal weight and I don't have to do any more of these 90-hour fasts over and over and over again. Now that I'm in a maintenance phase, my hope is that I can do shorter fasts. I can be a little more lax with what I'm doing. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop fasting, but now I can take a different approach to the length I'm fasting for, because I hit my goal weight, because I trusted the process, because I didn't see the 0.4 pound loss after a 4-day fast and say, this is the worst thing ever. I'm never doing this again. I'm just going to throw the day away. Hopefully, as I say this over and over and over, it starts to click with people about why trusting the process and doing what you need to do consistently makes sense. Hopefully. In the same respect, these are the 34 refeeds that I did during my weight loss journey to get to my goal weight. The last couple of fasts, I've been averaging 5+ pounds per refeed. And that's another thing to talk about. Imagine, and because we were just talking about that, right? Imagine you lost 3 pounds or whatever on your refeed, or you lost 3 pounds on your fast and then you gain 5 pounds afterwards. That can be very discouraging for people. But I'm here to show you, yeah, I might have gained 5 pounds on a refeed, but I know that when I complete my 90-hour fast, by day 3, by around hour 65, I have now equaled out where I lost on my last fast. And I know if I give it one more day and hit my 90-hour fast, I will lose more weight than I did the prior fast. Don't let the number on the scale discourage you. The scale is going to say what the scale wants to say. The scale is the scale couldn't care less how you felt. The scale does not give a fuck what you think the number should be. So do not keep looking at this. Use the scale as a guide. Use the scale as a reference. And that's why I weigh every day, because this helps me look and say, well, this is what I average. I average about this much weight gained after every refeed. But you know what? Every time I perform a 90-hour fast, by day 3, I equal myself out. And by day 4, I lose 2 pounds on average. And that's what keeps me going, is because I dig into those numbers and I see what I'm doing. And it's very helpful for me to understand and to look at that and not worry. And that's really what it's come down to as I've been doing this for the last 5 months. I don't worry anymore because I know what I'm doing and I know what that scale more or less is going to say. It might be off by a pound or two, but for the most part, not for the most part, for every single fast I've done, I have lost weight on the scale. Yeah, not once has the scale put me above my last fast. Every 90-hour fast I performed, I have lost weight every single time consistently. But that's because I know what I'm doing. I've built the experience to do it. For you, this is why it's important to do this and to do it consistently so that you can understand what works and what doesn't, so that you can build your experience, so that you can learn what your fasting number is, your fasting number. When I talk about a fasting number, I am talking about the number that you have to perform that will continuously help you lose weight on the scale. But that number varies based on what you eat, how long you're fasting for. Well, obviously, that's your fasting number. What kind of exercise you're performing, and if you're doing it on a consistent basis. You have to go through it. You have to do it. I understand people will come to me and they'll want coaching, and I love to help people out. But I think sometimes people, they just want to know how long they should fast for, and if they're going to lose X amount of pounds if they fast for this long. The thing is, you're going to lose weight if you fast, depending on how long you fast for. But there are too many variables. There are too many variables based on how you refeed. There's also the variable if you can even perform these fasts, let alone doing it once. Because again, I mean, the numbers don't lie. Fasting works. But if you look at what I've done here, I have done these fasts over and over and over and over again. 47-hour fast, 67 hours, 92 hours, 96 hours, 163 hours, 95, 95, 94, 89, 95, 93, over and over and over with a 4-hour refeed. After fasting for 4 days and only eating for around 4.5 hours, I did it again. And then I did it again. And then I did it again. Yeah, I talk about a fasting number and finding what that fasting number is, but a really important variable is, can you do it again? Can you do it again? Yeah, okay, this looks impressive, but for me, I can do it without, I guess, in a way, in some ways, without batting an eye. No, it's not that easy. Yes, it is a difficult process. Yes, it takes a lot of willpower. Yes, it takes a lot of discipline. One of the reasons I can do what I do is because I have all of you for accountability, because I have to show up and post these videos and post these numbers so that I can be honest and transparent. That's what helps keep me going. But I also know that it isn't torture for me to do. I can do this while still working. I can fast for this long while still performing my normal daily duties. I can do this while streaming, right? While putting things together, while working. You have to build that fasting muscle. You have to build yourself up to this point. You won't know what you're capable of until you do it, until you push yourself there, until you give yourself that discipline. I know that I can't do 168-hour fasts, which are 1 week. I mean, yes, I can perform a 168-hour fast. I've done it before, but I can't keep doing that over and over and over and over again. That's why you don't see me do it. That's why, because obviously, right? If I did that, I would have gotten to my goal weight much faster. That's like saying, well, Jerome, if you didn't eat 6,000 calories, you would have gotten there faster. Yes, of course. But this is why I am talking about do not imitate what I do. Because why would you eat 6,000 calories if you can't? There's no point. If you can't fast for 90 hours over and over and over again, why are you going to do that? And it doesn't, that fasting number, even though I say the fasting number for me is 90, right? Because if you see here, my fasts have averaged around 93 hours, these past 34 fasts. But I guess what I'm saying is, even though my fasting number is technically 90, knowing that that's the weight I'm going to lose, or knowing that that fast will continuously let me lose weight on the scale over and over and over, your number might not just be one number. Your method of fasting could be completely different. Maybe it's a 48, and then a 72, and then another 48, 72. For other people, it could be a 23, and then an alternate day, a 36, a 23, or a 36. Other people will fast 3 days out of the week, and then they have their weekends off where they perform a 16-8. Yeah, I talk about a fasting number for simplicity's sake, but the joy, maybe not the joy, but I guess the thing that I love about fasting is the flexibility beneath it all. You can be so flexible with what you're doing when it comes to fasting, and it can vary and it can change and it can adapt and you can tweak it and you can do whatever you want when it comes to fasting. It's finding that sweet spot and it's continuing and it's ever changing, right? Because even though my fasting protocol has been 93 hours for the last 5 months, for the last 34 fasts, and now for the 35th, as I'm completing this 90-hour fast, that's probably going to be the last 90 I do for a minute. Maybe. We'll see, depending on maintenance. But I'm about to embark on shorter fasts. Because after this 90-hour fast that I'm currently working on, my next one's going to be a 65. And then I don't know what's after that. And then I have a friend coming in town in the beginning of April, and I'm going to be eating every day. And I don't even know what that's going to look like. And how am I going to maintain my weight when I have to eat every day? I don't know yet. I haven't figured that out. Maybe that's where I might gain weight and then figure a plan out on how to lose weight. That might be where I incorporate another 90-hour fast, because technically I'm going to be eating every day, being on like we'll call it a mini vacation. And this is life and figuring out that part. And I'm so excited it's scary to know that I might have to eat every day or that I will eat every day. But at the same time, I'm a little excited because I want to show people that it can be done. I want to show people, hey, this is how I deal with a vacation. This is how I deal with eating every day and how I'm going to maintain this weight or make sure I don't gain too much weight so then I don't have to do crazy fasts to get back to where I was at. This is all a process. And this is all of this I want to be able to share with you to let you know that this is doable, that you can incorporate fasting in so many different ways, in so many different methods, just by adjusting the levers of weight loss and figuring it out. Val, hi Val. Good evening with a $5 super chat. I'm going to imitate what you do, bro. It's the blueprint. It's not easy. You're a beast. Val, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Um, Here's the thing. If people want to do what I'm doing, more power to you. The only thing that I wouldn't recommend, so here. Okay, you want to do a 90-hour fast, do a 90-hour fast. If you have excess weight on you, if you have extra weight on you, if you're overweight, if you're obese and you're not sure if you can do a 90-hour fast, I'm pretty sure you can. I'm pretty sure you have the excess weight that your body will use for energy to burn that off of you. That is how you'll lose weight, by performing these fasts. What I do not recommend is people to eat the way I do. I don't eat 4 to 6,000 calories. I don't eat 7,000 calories in a 4 hour refeed because I'm trying to show off. I don't eat that way because I'm trying to build muscle or get all my nutrients in. I eat that way because I have to eat that much to feel satiated. It's been like this for a long time. It's part of my eating disorder. Is part of my binging within that? I don't know. But I know that it's not a full on binge because I still control the amount I'm trying to eat. But more importantly, I'm controlling how long I can eat for. That's why I only give myself typically a 4 hour eating window. And as I've been giving myself longer eating windows recently, I have been a lot more mindful about how I've been eating, which is, I think, for me, a huge improvement of what I used to do in the past. So, all that being said, Val, I'm all with you. I support you if you want to do these 90-hour fasts to get to your goal weight, as long as you can healthily do so, as long as you don't feel burnt out, as long as you don't feel weak and you can't work or take care of your family. I know Val, guys, so I know he has a family. But I would not expect you to eat 7,000 calories just because I am. Although I know from the last time we've spoke, I know you can put it down. But either way, Val, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Um, where am I at here? I don't think I have much else to share when it comes to these slides. Do I? Oh, I do have this. So this is a slide of what it took for me to hit my goal weight. These are the weights that I landed at after every single fast I completed. And like I said, fast that I there has not been one fast that I completed where I gained weight from the previous fast. So even though I refed and gained about 5 pounds, I still lost it all by the time I got to my 90-hour fast. And you'll see here, every single fast I performed, I lost weight to the point of day 138 at the bottom there, where I hit my goal weight of getting to 140 pounds. I will say this again. These 90-hour fasts, I didn't pull that number out of thin air. This was done through trial and error. This was done through my experience in the past. This was done from knowing how I ate, how long I kept my eating window open for, how I exercised. I knew that if I combined all of those things and added a 90-hour fast into it, I would continuously lose weight. And I stand by that method, and I stand by my rolling fasts because I know they work. They might not work for everyone, but I will say that, in Val's words, the blueprint in how rolling fasts work and how to implement them, I think if you take a very similar approach, doesn't mean 90 hours. It also doesn't mean eating 6,000 calories. But if you take the approach of fasting for a certain length of time based on how you eat, based on the exercise you perform, based on how long you eat for, you will see results. It is going to take some time to figure that out. If you want the simple answer, if you want a simple answer, right? If you're like, well, Jerome, I don't want to know, I don't want to take the time to figure out what number that is, then my answer to you is just fast. if you fast for 3 days, as long as you don't eat like 6,000 calories in those 3 days, I'm pretty sure you're going to lose weight. If you add some cardio into it, you're probably going to lose even more weight. So if you don't want to figure out what that number is, fast for 2 days and make sure you don't eat a shit ton. Simple as that. Keep your eating window short. Keep it to an hour. Keep it to an hour and a half, depending on how much you eat. Yes, it does take time to really find that number, but also if you want to just keep it simple, fast for as long as you can, eat with a short window, do it again. Fast for as long as you can, eat in a short window, be mindful of what you're eating, add some cardio, add some strength training, even better results. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Be consistent. Sounds simple, but there's a lot more to it, especially when you start putting these things in your head about what works and what doesn't, and how am I feeling, and is it going to be a shit day, and do I have a family event coming up? Is there a social thing happening? Oh, I'm stressed out. I mean, once you start factoring all those other things in, it becomes a little more complicated and it becomes a little more complex. And that's why I do think having a positive mindset, making sure you're sleeping well, doing all of those things, I think is such an important piece for it. I want to kind of finalize things with maintenance. Now that I'm in maintenance mode, I do want to talk about my plan here. So again, now that I'm in day 3 of maintaining my weight, now that I've hit my goal weight, my first order of business is working on doing another 90-hour fast. I'll share this again. So after hitting under 140 pounds, I gained 5.4 pounds when I refed. Today, I weighed in at 143 pounds. Tomorrow, while I'm on tomorrow would be day 4, and I'll when I wake up and I weigh, I'll probably be somewhere in the 65 to 75 hour fasting window, and I will probably be somewhere around 141 pounds, I believe. But I'm fasting until Tuesday. So what I'm doing is I'm doing another 90-hour fast because I'm trying to keep my body, my weight in the high 130s, low 140s. After I complete that 90-hour fast, I am going to refeed. I'm going out with friends that day. And then I will be, because by then I know that my weight will probably be somewhere set in the high 130s, low 140s after doing another 90, because I'm sure I'm going to hit a little lower under 139.8 by Tuesday. After that, I'm going to do a 65-hour fast. So I'm going to shave a day off because I know I'll probably be around 140 then. And then I'm going to refeed. And then after that, I think what I'm going to do is my initial plan is to just keep fasting until I hit around the 140 mark, whether it's 139 or 140, or maybe even 141. But my guess is I am just going to continue to fast until I'm somewhere between 138 to 140, probably somewhere around there. And I'm going to do that indefinitely until I figure out, oh, okay, if I start losing weight after doing 65-hour fasts, then I'm going to start tapering that off. And then I'm going to start eating every other day. And then I'm going to start thinking about how I'm eating and what I'm eating and if I'm eating too much. And I'm going to start incorporating other ways of eating, whether that be lower carb, whether I actually try a day where I eat no junk food, whether it be a day where I eat carnivore or keto or a different variant, maybe vegan. I don't know yet, but I want to start incorporating different ways of eating because I want to better myself. Now that I'm in a maintenance mode, now that I'm trying to just maintain my weight and I have the opportunity to eat more than ever before since the last 5 months, I want to make sure that I am practicing and looking at better habits so that I can add new tools to my toolbox. It doesn't mean I'm going to eat carnivore forever. Doesn't mean I'm going to be a vegan forever. That's not what I'm saying. I just want to learn what works and what doesn't, because I think of it this way. I talked about how on April 9th, I'm going to be eating every day for about a week or 8 days. And maybe on those 8 days where I'm eating back to back to back, maybe one of those days I eat low carb. Maybe I'm more mindful about what I'm eating. That is part of me changing the process and learning about myself and building the experience. Just like I built the experience through fasting, just like I built the experience through figuring out what works, this is no different. This is me now moving on to the next level of what I'm doing. This is something that I didn't show the last time I lost this weight. This is something that I didn't have the mindset for. If you are a longtime watcher of my channel, you knew how I did this before. I did get to my goal weight and I was pretty happy and I felt like I was on automatic, but I wasn't. I eventually slipped and I didn't have the kind of mindset that I do now. And not only do I feel like I've evolved in my thinking and being positive and going to therapy and understanding why I do the things I do, I'm now hitting different levels where I'm like, oh, wow, actually, maybe I should think about what I'm eating. Maybe I should incorporate different ways of eating. Maybe I should try it out and see how it makes me feel, because maybe I will enjoy it. Maybe I will get used to it. And maybe I won't eat junk food as much. Maybe I'll eat cleaner than I ever have before. And maybe I might enjoy it. Maybe I might not. But I'm not going to know until I do it. And that's actually what makes me so excited about what I'm doing right now, about being in this maintenance phase, because I get to learn more about myself and what I'm doing. And anything I learn, I get to share with you. And if I can learn and pick up new things and share it with you to teach you how to fast better, how to fast smarter, how to eat better, how to eat smarter, why would I not teach you that? Why would I not pass that knowledge on to you? I don't think there has been anything I have done that I have not shared with you. I have shared literally everything I've done to get to this point. You saw it on November 5th, the day before I started my fasting journey. I shared to you my strategy and my plan. And in those 138 days, I have posted as much as I could on any platform that I could possibly post on to share with you what I'm doing and how I'm doing it and why I'm doing it and the mindset I have behind that. And if I can even be better now with my eating and learning new ways of doing things, I am so happy to share that and pass that knowledge on to you. When I go through the comments and people say, Jerome, I have never lost this much weight before. Jerome, you changed my life. Jerome, I have always been overweight, but now things are changing. When I see that and I know that I'm actually helping people, I don't even have words, because I have been that person that has been stuck in a bad place for a long time. And I felt like I was never going to get help. I felt like I was never going to figure out how I was going to get healthy again. I thought I was never going to figure out how I would ever live with type 2 diabetes, live with high blood pressure, live with being tired all the time, with waking up every 2 hours in the evening to go pee, with feeling lethargic, feeling fatigued. It is crazy that fasting is what has made me figure out how to get past this, even at my age, even in my 40s, learning how to do this, learning how to finally figure out what to do to be healthier, to be better, to prioritize my health. And if I can share that with any of you, I will share every single thing. That's why when I talk about coaching, I don't push coaching on people. I push coaching as a way to personalize what they're doing and give an extra hand and give an extra push. But you can ask anyone I'm coaching. There's no secret behind what I'm doing. Everything that I share here is also what I do when I'm coaching. I don't hide some secret formula. I don't take special pills. I'm not on some special diet pills. I don't take in, what's so funny recently is a lot of people think I'm either on Ozempic or I'm getting whatever those injections are, and I'm not. This is purely fasting. I've never had any kind of weight loss surgery. I don't take diet pills. I don't take any kind of medication for my diabetes. I don't even take medication for my high blood pressure. All of that's been reversed at this point. Nothing. Everything I'm doing right now is through fasting. No, I don't take electrolytes when I fast. No, I don't count how much water I'm drinking. I keep it simple. I'm still able to walk 5, 6 miles a day. I'm still able to go to the gym and lift weights. I'm able to do so many things on a normal functioning level, even while fasted. I don't know if everyone can do this. I can only share my experience, but I am hoping that I can share that so people who do watch are like, if Jerome can do it, I could probably do it too. If some of you are here late, watch this earlier in the beginning and watch the old polo that I put on that fit me 5 months ago and how it fit me today after 5 months. That was how I've been almost my entire life as morbidly obese. So I just want people to understand that I'm not anything special. I'm just this normal guy who's figured out some way to fast and incorporate it into his life to keep the weight off. That's it. Holy sh. Okay, wait. Okay, Kelly with a $20 super sticker. Kelly, thank you so much for the support. I don't know what that sticker looks like, but I will take a look at that in a second after this stream ends. Thank you for such a generous donation. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you. Oh my God. And then laid by Nish with a $140 super chat. Oh my goodness. Laid by Nish. This is, well, you know what? A couple days ago, C Star donated $200, but like you guys are insane with these super chats. This is ridiculous. $140. Laid by Nish says, "Oh my God, Jerome, congratulations on hitting your goal. Thank you so much, Laid by Nish. Here is $1 for your 140-pound goal. That's why it's 140. That is ridiculous. Thank you for such a huge, generous donation. I've watched this journey and you've inspired me and you totally smashed this goal. You're amazing. Laid by Nish, thank you so much. I don't even know what to say with these gigantic donations. You guys are so generous. Thank you for your support. I mean, I will say, I hope that Laid by Nish, thank you again. Thank you so much. I just want to point out here, I hope all of you know that all of the support means so much to me, but I really hope that everything I share with you, everything that I go through, the things that go through my mind, even the depressive points in my life, I hope you find some insight with that. I hope you find some encouragement, some inspiration, some motivation to figure out that you're not alone in what you're doing. Because for the longest time, before YouTube, before I found out about fasting, before I found out about really just losing weight in a sustainable way, in a way that I can maintain, I don't know how to say this without like getting hurt by YouTube from it, but there have been very, when I talk about therapy and how I've been in therapy for over a year, I think maybe by this point I've probably been in therapy now for almost 2 years, but I'll have to double check. But I want people to understand I've been in therapy before. I've been in therapy in the past for my eating disorder through multiple therapists, by the way, also for my depression. I guess the thing I'm trying to say is I have been in very low points in my life where self-harm was an option for me. It's not something that I want to talk about because they were very low points in my life, but I say that because for a long time, I thought I was never going to find a way out. And I thought maybe the only answer at that point was to just, well, I don't want to go there, but I'm, it was it was it was tough then. And I'm so thankful that fasting has been a way for me to find, I guess, you know, an answer to find a solution to taking care of myself and being healthy, and not just in, you know, the physical way, right? But also in a mental way where, yeah, I have some hard days, and I have, there have been days, especially lately, that have been very tough for me. But I don't use food anymore to numb the pain or to hide from it. And even with what I've been talking about, you know, eating, binging, using food for comfort, using food because I'm addicted to it, to feel that high, to feel that dopamine high, to feel good for that short amount of time, I know where that's led me, because eventually it will lead me back into a depressive state and much worse. And I don't want to go there. I don't want to be that person. Yeah, I have thoughts of binging, and I have thoughts of, like, just throwing the day away, but I try to bring myself back, I guess, to a more normal level. I don't know what words I'm looking for there. I'm just trying to stay afloat and stay one step ahead from the thoughts that have been in my head forever. And that is why I talk about rewiring the brain a lot. That's why I talk about rethinking things a lot, because those old habits, those old thought patterns, they're going to keep manifesting if you let them. So when I talk about doing different things and building consistency and learning from it and learning about yourself and finding personal growth, I really think that if you give yourself the time to build that consistency and stop throwing the day away so you can build better habits, I think even just the small steps is going to be a huge improvement. Because, like I said, it took me 5 months to lose this weight, but it was also 5 months of me saying, I'm not throwing the day away. If you watched me back on November 5th when I streamed and you kept it up with me, you didn't have to go as hard as me. But what if you stayed consistent during those 5 months? What if during those 5 months you were only losing 2 pounds a week, which is still a good amount, right? You would have been 40 pounds down. And I bet you, if you were sitting there saying, I wish I was 40 pounds down right now, not only would you be 40 pounds down, but that's 5 months of learning about what you're doing. That's 5 months of building experience. That's 5 months of bettering yourself. That's 5 months of figuring things out that you probably wouldn't have figured out before, because you never gave yourself the chance to. You never gave yourself the opportunity to. And this is something I would have never even spoke about 5 months ago, because I didn't know. I had no idea. It's taken me 5 months to get where I'm at right now, where I'm starting to realize, oh shit, this wasn't just about losing weight. This was about finding why I do some of the things I do. This is about figuring out, oh, I eat this way because it makes me feel this kind of way. Or I can actually eat these foods because I actually enjoy it. Or I've structured the way I eat now so that I don't have to eat a ton of junk food at the end. Some things that I haven't shared with you because I haven't done episodes of Refeed in a while. I know this is going to sound crazy because I haven't shared this with people because you haven't watched me in a while, but there have been some refeeds where I don't even eat pie at the end of the day, which sounds silly, but for people who know me and who have watched me finish my refeed with pie every single time, there are some days where I have not even eaten dessert because I am actually so satiated from the meat and the vegetables and like my cashews that I don't even want dessert. Now, my last refeed, I ate a lot of pie. So I'm not saying it happens every time, but I'm just letting you know that there has been progress in what I'm doing. There have been moments where I'm like, oh shit, I did this. When I talk about what I drink during my fasts, I always talk about drinking Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi or Diet Dr. Pepper. I haven't shared this with anyone um, through coaching or anything, but like I haven't had pop, Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi in 2 days now. This is the first time I've gone this long without having one. And I've been used to having it almost daily at this point, just because I'm so used to doing it because it's such a habitual thing. But this is me trying to change my mindset and trying to be like, hey, Jerome, can you actually see if you can do this? And you know what this means? It doesn't mean that I'm giving up pop forever. And I think that's part of my thinking too. It's like, oh, I don't have to give up pop forever, but maybe I'll try to go a day without having it. And then I did it yesterday. And then today I'm doing it again. I haven't had a pop. Today I almost broke and I had one, but I didn't. And I think to me, that's progress. That's still learning from where I was at 5 months ago, because I don't think I could have done that then. I know I sound like a broken record, but I say all of this to remind you that if you build the consistency and you build the accountability and you start learning from your mistakes and you keep hitting that timer over and over again, you might learn a thing or two about yourself that you might not have known before. That's all I got when it comes to that. Um, Am I? Oh God, you guys. Sherelle with a $10 super chat. Sherelle, thank you so much. Congratulations on reaching goal. Thank you. Thank you. So proud of you. I appreciate that. Excited to see follow your maintenance now to learn and follow along. Sherelle, thank you so much. Thank you for being here on a regular basis. I see you here all the time. I see you commenting and chatting. So thank you so much, Sherelle. Thank you for such a generous donation. K Fury Fit with a $10 super chat as well. Thank you so much. I know I do this all the time, guys, but I have no other way of thanking you. If you guys know, there's that emoji. Have you guys seen that emoji? If you've noticed, when I comment on YouTube videos, I use this emoji a lot. So this is my way of saying thanks. Hey, Jerome, so glad you're back. K Fury Fit, thank you for supporting. Thank you for watching me. If you've been here for a while, I'm guessing so by you saying that. You helped me so much mentally during the height of the pandemic. Yes, it looks like you've been here since the beginning. I've missed your lives so much. Sending good vibes from downtown LA. K Fury Fit, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate the support. I love that you're here. I love that you've been able to find me and see that I'm live again. So thank you so much. Mark, DMMX1, again with another $10 super chat. Thank you so much for the donation. You and this channel are so important to all of us here. It's funny because I guess I never really thought about it like that. And every time I post a video or I stream, I'm starting to realize that now. So thank you. 6 weeks ago, I weighed myself and I was at my heaviest. I told myself that I had to start to fast again. Then I found you. I'm so grateful. Thank you. With with the emoji that I put. Mark, DMMX1, thank you so much for the donation. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Eileen Lowry with a $5 super chat. Hey, Jerome, I appreciate you. I appreciate you as well, Eileen. Whenever I think about breaking early, I think of you and it keeps me going. I'm so glad that I'm able to help and motivate and support and inspire. So thank you as well. I lost 9 pounds this week. Congratulations. 9 pounds in a week. That's amazing. I bet you feel, I don't know. There's always that feeling of losing that much weight that I feel like is such a huge motivator. So please keep pushing forward. And even if that scale doesn't show what you wanted to see, remember, Eileen, trust the process. Thank you again for the $5 donation. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Bruce Wilkie, oh my God, with such a huge, guys, you guys are nuts. You guys are insane. I can't even keep up. Bruce with a $50 super chat. You're an inspiration and a big help for those of us that are also trying to do similar work with our weight. Thank you, Bruce. I know I know there's so many of us, and that's why like I try to share as much as I can, because it's always interesting to me for anyone that might try to like, I don't know. I sometimes I get those ads on YouTube where it's like, you want to know the secret behind, it's like, dude, why do people do this shit? Why can't you just share? I don't know. Maybe that's what I'm here for. It's like, just fast and fast for however long and figure out the levers and you'll lose weight. I feel like sometimes it can be as simple as that. But thank you, Bruce, for the kind words. The low points are needed. There are no ultimate accidents, bro. God bless you. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you so much for the huge super chat. Thank you for the support. I know I've seen you here before. I'm pretty sure I have. And if I forget, I apologize. I sometimes it's hard for me to keep up. But Bruce, thank you. Guys, thank you for all the donations. Thank you so much. Andre, with the J-Man, with the $20 donation as well. Such a huge supporter. I didn't know about 42s, 65s, 90s. Didn't know about refeeds. Didn't know about the Zero app. LOL. So thank you for introducing many of us to this unique world of fasting. I'm glad that I'm able to share that. I love that you say 42s, 65s, and 90s, because those are my numbers. Those are the exact numbers that I use when I fast. Those are what I abide by. It's funny because I know I see people talk about 72s or 48s because I know they always hit at the same time frame. But I'm like, those numbers don't really work because you always have to refeed and that takes some time. So, but maybe because they don't roll into it like I do. That's why that for those that always wonder why I use the number 42 or 65 or 90, that's because at that time interval, that usually meshes with my 4 hour eating window for the most part. Anyway, congratulations, J-Man. Thank you, Andre. Thank you for always being here. I've told this to Andre before, but I just know him so well just because he's the only one that calls me J-Man. So okay, you know what? I know I've shared a lot here and I want to give back to you guys. So I am looking at Sherelle's last comment here at 9:26 p.m. I will leave this part here for Q&A. If you have any questions, ask them now. I will say I don't think I'm going to get to all of the questions. I do feel a little parched at this point. I should have put water next to me. Maybe I'll go grab some while you ask questions here, but I will answer as much as I can after the 9:26 timestamp I see here from Sherelle. So if you have questions, please ask. But at this point, I do want to take a little time and talk about coaching. Yes, I know I've talked about coaching, and no, it isn't mandatory. No, it's not something that you have to do, but I do offer coaching for people who might need a little extra push. When I talk about coaching, really what I'm talking about is for people who might need some accountability. I have not been able to lose the weight that I have without accountability. That's why I run these live streams. That's why I post on YouTube. That's why I post on Instagram, because I am trying to show my accountability. If I didn't show any of that accountability and I just tried to do this myself, there is no way that I would have been able to do it. If you ask me why, because I've tried before. When I was gone from YouTube, when I had gained all the weight back, in those 2+ years of time, I tried to do it by myself and I could not. It took me coming back to YouTube to lose that weight. When people say, Jerome, how are you able to do this? How did you lose the weight this fast? It's because I had to be accountable. That's why I couldn't do it for the 2 years I was gone, because I had no one to be accountable for. So if you are looking for accountability, if you are looking for somebody to kind of just maybe look over your shoulder or make sure that you have someone to be accountable for, I do offer coaching. The link is here, but you can find the link in the description, calendly.com/finallyfasting. Even there is a 15-minute free consultation where you and I can just talk for free. I give my time up for you guys. Yes, I know it's 15 minutes, but that's still 15 minutes of my time that I give to you at no charge. That's time for, even if it's not a consultation and you just want to talk and ask a question, and if I can help you, my goal is to help people and help people figure out what's going on in their weight loss journey. My goal is to help you reclaim your health, reclaim your life. And if I can help you do that, I would be so happy to do so. So please, if you are looking, you can go to the link in the description and you can find that there. I will say too, there are memberships that I do offer, it's something new that I've been doing. I held my very first members only live stream last Wednesday. It is something that I plan on doing not every Wednesday, maybe either every other Wednesday or 3 Wednesdays out of the month. But that is a autophagy members only live stream. If you look in the link, you can click the link to join. Um, Doing that will allow you to have a live stream with me every Wednesday for 45 minutes. And I just go through the chat. It was a very small, intimate one. The last Wednesday, there were 5 of us, but I answered any questions. I talked about whatever was going on. It was more of a casual thing. I think that will evolve over time as well, especially if more people jump onto that live stream. But just another option that could also be a way for accountability. That's what I want to use that for too, to ask people how they're doing. Where are you at in your fasting regimen? How much weight have you lost? It is more of a personal type thing. I'm not sitting there talking about myself. I'm actually going through the chat, reading through the chat that comes in there. At least that's the plan until for the foreseeable future. As long as it's small and intimate, that's something that I plan on doing from here on out. So that's it. That's all I got for that. So let me go ahead and go through any questions that might be here. And actually, I don't feel like there's that many questions. It makes me wonder if I've been answering them over and over, that people are starting to understand or remember my answers. Benicia, am I saying that right? Benicia Signal. How do I get started? Let me give you the short answer. How do I get started? You just start. Start fasting. You don't need to download an app. If you want to download an app, you can. I use the Zero app. People ask me that a lot. I like the Zero app because I think it looks pretty. That is my honest answer. But the Zero app is such an annoying app because they ask you to pay all the time. And I think now you can't even sign up, or you can't even download and use the app anymore without you using your credit card to get a free trial, and then you have to cancel it. So if you do use the Zero app, cancel that paid whatever. I don't use any paid features on it. I just use it to time my fasts, and then I calculate how long my refeeds are. But to get to what I'm saying, you just need to start. You don't have to download an app. You can use the timer on your phone, use the clock app to time how long you're fasting for. You can even use the timer to log how long your refeeds are, and then use like your notes app to write it down, or go the old fashioned way and use a notebook and start logging your refeed times, start logging your fasting times, and just start fasting. That is the simplest way about it. If you're thinking about fasting for a longer amount of time, if you've never done one before, maybe start with a 12-hour fast. Like, your sleeping schedule should be around 8 hours. Skip breakfast, do a 12-hour fast, and then eat for 12 hours. If that is a piece of cake, maybe move on to a 16-hour fast. If that's too much for you, scale it back a little, do a 14-hour fast, or just add a half hour every single time. Progressively work your way up, build your fasting muscle. That's kind of how it works. If you're doing even longer fasts, then I would take a look into electrolytes and seeing if that might help you with the side effects, because people who have not fasted for a long time, sometimes they're going to get carb withdrawal. If you're not going to drink coffee or diet pop or whatever, you might have caffeine withdrawal. These are things you have to kind of get over as you start this. The easiest way is to just start doing it. Build your fasting muscle, build the experience, be consistent about it. That is the easiest thing that I can say to do any type of fasting protocol, is to just do it, to just get started. Benicia, hopefully that was helpful in some form or fashion. Fashionably Cat, hi, Fashionably Cat. I feel like I see you a lot now asking questions, so glad to see you here. What do you suggest a person do when fasting to make sure they're really at their true goal weight? What do you suggest a person to do when fasting to make sure they're really at their true goal weight? Are you asking what weight you need to be at? I mean, for me, I use that height weight chart to just give me an idea of where I should be at, but I don't look at that as set in stone. I know when I first fasted, I actually got my weight down to under 125. I think I was 124.4, and I realized I was probably way too skinny then. Um, to the point where I felt like I probably had some issues with body dysmorphia. And I wouldn't be surprised because I've always had issues when it comes to just like looking at myself and my self-worth and so on and so forth. But I if that's what you're asking, I would maybe look at that first, is see what for a height and weight to maybe use it as a guide, but I wouldn't use that as a set in stone type of thing because even for me, 100 and it's so funny because I'm 5'3", because I'm short. If you look at the height and weight chart for my height, they say 140 is the highest for an average weight, saying that if I weighed 141 pounds, I would be overweight, which I disagree with. I think even me at 145 pounds, I think would be average. And I say that because I feel like I do have a good amount of muscle on me. I feel like my body composition, because I go to the gym and because I lift weights, I don't think I'm meant to be 130 pounds, but I think I'm meant to be maybe in the high 130s to maybe the mid 140s is where I see myself. And as I start to build muscle, I probably see myself maybe moving up in weight a little bit in the future, but I'm not going to know for sure until I get there. So that is a tougher question for me to answer. Um, Maybe if I find a better answer for that in the future, but that's kind of all I have at this point. Kevin Garner asks, have you gone to the doctors and got a blood test? No, I haven't. And I'm so behind on this. I was supposed to get a blood draw on February 15th or 16th or something like that. But I was in LA at the time and I have not rescheduled. That's my own fault. I need to be better about that. You guys should just keep whipping me until I get my ass into the doctor and get my lab work done. I will say though, I do check my blood sugar every morning now, and I check my blood pressure. My blood sugar ranges in the morning somewhere between the 50s and 70s, almost consistently around like the 60ish, like 62, 65 is my fasting blood sugar every morning. My blood pressure is normal. My resting heart rate is somewhere in the high 40s. Um, I feel really good. That doesn't mean that I'm not sick. That doesn't mean that something might be wrong. So I definitely need to go to the doctor. So Kevin, I have not, and you guys should keep reminding me so I go and do it. Plant-based junkie. Hi, plant-based junkie. Why refeed instead of fasting for 30 or 60 days straight? One, because I don't want to fast for that long. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be beneficial to fast for 30 days or 60 days if I weighed 220 something pounds. But I'll tell you this, plant-based junkie, I don't fast for that long because mentally that would be tough for me. There are some people that say, well, it gets easier. I disagree. For me, it's different. I can do 4-day fasts and feel perfectly fine. I also think it's really important that I'm able to go to the gym and lift weights. I think it's still important for me to go walk 5-6 miles a day. I think it's still important for me to function and work. I work a physically demanding job where I'm walking around. I work as a photographer and I'm moving stuff around and I'm busy my entire day. So even when I do 7-day fasts, it's just not mentally, it's tough for me. And physically, my body was not used to it. I do 4-day fasts because I know they work and because I've lost weight. And I've lost 78 pounds in less than 5 months. And I I have no shame in saying that. Would I lose more weight if I did a 30-day fast? Maybe, probably. But I also don't know if I would be able to walk 5-6 miles a day. I also don't know if I would go to the gym and lift weights 5, 6, sometimes 7 times a week, is what I meant. Walk 6, 7 times a week for, or whatever. You know what I'm saying. But yeah, and again, I'll say this too. So I don't advocate for anyone to fast for a certain amount of days. If you want to fast for 3 days, fast for 3 days if you're able to do so. You want to fast for 7 days? Fast for 7 days. You want to fast for longer than that? As long as you're able to do so, why not? But to stay or to tell someone that they need to fast for this amount of time or that amount of time, that's something that I don't do. One of the things that I think is important with what I'm doing is that I can fast for as long as I do, physically do the things that I need to do, and still feel mentally sound doing it. Because the moment I feel like it's too much is a point of where I might binge. That might be a trigger for me because I have an eating disorder and I deal with binge eating disorder. So being away from food for that long is, I don't think is something I want to do, but also I take pride in my accomplishments and losing this much weight in this short amount of time. Also, to the point that I can eat whatever I want. I can eat 6,000, 7,000 calories in a 4 hour refeed, and that satiates me. And that makes me able to go again. And it makes me feel good to fast again because I filled that gap where I needed to eat and I feel good about it. So, very long answer there. I want to kind of get those points through because I think it's just going to vary for everyone. So, um, Laid by Nish asks, do you think you'll always have issues with overeating? The thing is, Laid by Nish is, I think I might, but I think it's gotten better over time. I really do. I think my issues with overeating has changed significantly as time has gone on, as I built experience, as I'm learning more about myself, as I go to therapy. Or do you think if you maintain long enough, that may dissipate? That would be awesome if that's what would happen. My hope is to keep continuing what I'm doing, keep sharing what's happening with me, keep sharing what's happening in my head, so that maybe eventually things won't be as bad. They won't be as extreme. I think the one thing I know for sure as these months have passed by, as I've been doing this over and over and over, I am not seeing black or white completely anymore. I am trying to find balance. I'm not always an all or nothing personality. Yes, to a lot of accounts, I still think all or nothing. In a lot of ways, I still think all or nothing, but I feel like I am giving myself grace within that. I'm giving myself a little gratitude within that. I'm being a little more mindful and saying, it's okay that I ate 6 hours instead of 4. It's okay that I didn't fast for the 90 hours I said I was going to. And eventually, I'm going to have to say, it's okay that I ate back to back days because that's going to happen come April. And I'm going to have to learn how to deal with that and figure that out instead of throwing the day away, instead of binging. So hopefully some of those feelings will dissipate. I don't know if I'll ever be cured of like my binge eating disorder or my binge eating behavior or thoughts or overeating thoughts. I don't know if that will completely go away. But as time goes on and I learn more about what I'm doing, hopefully that will change for the better. So that's a great question though. So thank you. Thank you. Um, T Love. Hi, T Love. Jerome, this is kind of personal. Nope. I get asked this question a lot, but I have to ask, how many times a week do you go to the restroom? Number 2 specifically. So obviously the day I refeed, I usually will go to the bathroom once, sometimes twice, especially after a big refeed. And I'll usually go to the bathroom again the next day, sometimes that same morning. And then it's very far and few between after that. If I'm doing a 4-day fast, I'll usually go to the bathroom the day I start my fast because that's the day after a refeed. And that might be it. I might not go to the bathroom again until I finish my 90-hour fast and I refeed. There are some other days where I will go on day 3 or day 4 of my fast. And I don't think it's a lot either, but that's usually how my bowel movements are. You know what? And I know that you're asking me, but I feel like this is a great question for chat too. I mean, for people who might be curious, please share. I mean, if you don't mind being TMI about it, but you know, leaving that in the chat or in the comments after this live stream might be helpful for those who are wondering what these questions are like or what the experience is like, because you'll also find out that it's probably going to be different for everyone. So, T Love, thanks for the question. I appreciate it. Um, how do you get started? Al, I did answer that. Bruce says, Jerome, do you think nicotine will have a negative effect on a fast? So I know people have asked this. Someone's asked this before. When it comes to nicotine, I don't know how it feels because I don't smoke um, anymore. I mean, like weed, but I don't do that either anymore. I do edibles, and it's been a while anyway. But when it comes to nicotine, I mean, isn't it when people smoke cigarettes, isn't that an appetite suppressant? And I'm not saying that you should smoke cigarettes to help curb hunger. I just don't know how it affects the rest of the body when you're fasting. I know that it's probably not the healthiest thing to do in the world, but if you're just talking about weight loss specifically, I mean, maybe you can ask people in chat, but I'm not knowledgeable enough to answer that question. So I'm not exactly sure, Bruce. But hopefully that was kind of helpful. Maybe chat can be a little more helpful with that as well. Um, Kelly, I didn't even know you could gift memberships. Holy cow. Kelly, thank you for gifting memberships to people in the chat. Uh, wow. I thought this was only a thing you could do on Twitch. For people who just got gifted memberships, I hope you guys thank Kelly for giving you a membership. I don't know what membership she gave, but if she gave you autophagy memberships, then that means you're eligible to participate in the live streams on Wednesday. But even if not, if it's the OMAD membership, then you get a special badge, and I think it comes with emojis. So Kelly, thank you for gifting memberships. Jesus, I didn't even know that was a thing. Thank you so much, Kelly. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you for the support. Please, guys, give Kelly a thank you if she gave you a membership. That is such a generous thing. I also did not know that was a thing at all. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm scrolling down here. Mr. VO says, Jerome, I have a question for you. You mentioned you lost more weight than usual lately. Have you changed up your diet a little or been working out more intensely? So, Mr. VO, I think it is a combination of the two. I think there was some days where I was just bored at home, and even though I walked an hour and a half in the morning, I went for another walk in the evening. But that wasn't every single time. And I also noticed that I do think the way I've been eating has been changing a little. I will say my last refeed was pretty big. I ate a lot. I ate, even for dessert, I think I ate half a pie and I ate a sleeve of Girl Scout cookies. I had a thing of tagalongs and I ate the shit out of that. Um, which is also why, like, if you looked at my numbers, my last refeed was like a 5.4 pound gain, which is why I was going to do another 90-hour fast to make sure I sat in the 140s correctly for maintenance. But I do think that a combination of those things maybe caused the weight to drop a little quicker this time, because I was really surprised that I dropped that much to get under 140 pounds. So yeah, we'll see what this 90-hour fast looks like at this point too. Okay. Bruce, do you have a Discord community? I think I did in the past, but I don't use it. I say this too much, and I really shouldn't say it until I have it up and running. I am working on a community-based thing right now, but it is not up. And that is my hope to get running so that we can all be in a place together and talk about fasting and share our experiences. So hopefully in the future, Bruce. I'm just scrolling down here, guys, just making sure I'm looking at questions. Sorry, don't mean to take so much time. I'm just trying to read. Sherry with a $5 super chat. Hi, Sherry. Nice to see you. Thank you for talking about body dysmorphia. Fasting seems easier than maintaining. How do we join membership on iPhone? Oh, you know what? That's true. First of all, Sherry, thank you so much for the donation. Yeah, body dysmorphia is definitely a thing for me and is something that I have not really sunk my teeth into to really think about. Maybe for another day. How do you join the membership on iPhone? I don't know if you can. I think the only way to join the membership on iPhone is if you go to the description on my live stream, I would click on that link and see if it opens up in Safari, or try to copy the link and open it in Safari and paste it in the browser and see if you can click the join button there. Because I know on the iPhone, I don't think you can, I don't think there's a join button. I don't know why they do that. I don't know if, I don't know. But anyway, Sherry, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thank you for considering a membership. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Uh, Vicky asks, is using toothpaste, mouthwash, and chewing gum okay? I mean, Vicky, I brush my teeth every day. I floss. I use mouthwash occasionally, but I brush my, I have like one of those motorized toothbrushes. I don't chew gum, but I'm guessing chewing gum would be okay. I would maybe take a look at what kind of sweeteners it has, especially like how I've recently talked about how I have not drank pop in the last 2 days. I'm actually trying to eat cleaner or take in things cleaner. So, chewing gum, I think, won't really affect you as much, but I would, I would maybe just take a look at it. If you don't want to take artificial sweeteners, then I would, think twice. I'd also ask chat, what do you guys think about chewing gum? I mean, I drink pop, I drink diet soda, and I say it's okay. But also, as I'm trying to change some of my habits, I'm trying to see if I can give up pop. I don't know if I will forever, but maybe when I'm fasting, I won't drink it anymore. So, anyway, Vicky, hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully that's helpful. Okay. Better Man asks, Jerome, do you put any serum, moisturizer, or any skincare to your face? This is a weird question. Are you asking me because you think my skin looks good? This is gonna sound weird, but I don't put anything on my face. I do put lotion once in a while, but that's just like regular like hand lotion or whatever. And I only use that because I know that I get really bad dry skin sometimes, but I don't use any kind of thing on my face. I should though. I hear that it's good for you. I feel like I'm 43 and I'm like, oh, whatever. I'm getting old. It's fine. I don't have to use anything, but I don't use anything. I don't even know what a serum or moist is. A moisturizer lotion. Isn't that the same thing? I don't know, but I don't do skincare. Maybe I should. People have talked about that before, but yeah. So I don't know. Am I going to say this right? Farid, uh, Abed Abedrabo, Farid Abedrabo with a 2. I'm not exactly sure what currency this is, but thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I don't think you've ever donated before. So thank you for the support. Thank you so much. Somebody tell me later what PEN is in currency. Just a reminder for everyone, I read all the comments in the chat after my live stream. So I will see what currency this is eventually if someone answers that. But Fareed, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. DMMX1 asks, have you seen the new Ghostbusters? I did today. It's great. I haven't. I know I'm, for those that don't, I'm wearing the Ghostbusters shirt. No, I haven't seen it. And actually, now that I'm standing up, I forgot. I didn't do a proper fit check. Yes, I wore that big polo earlier, but just again, for you guys to see, yes, I'm wearing a boys large shirt. So a size 12 to 14 shirt. I'm wearing boys pants right now. This is a youth large, I believe, or a boys large. I know I kind of showed a fit check earlier, but that was because I put on my big polo that I was wearing 5 months ago. But yes, I'm wearing boys' clothes. I'll move this out of the way. This is where I currently sit right now at around 140 pounds. I mean, you saw that today I weigh 143 because I'm coming off of my refeed. This is 2 days into my refeed. But yes, boys shirt, boys pants. That's what I look like on the side. From the back, side again. And you'll see here, right? Like I'm wearing a compressed shirt, but I do have, I don't know. See, I feel like a lot of this is loose skin. I mean, it is loose skin. I know it's loose skin here. It's interesting because sometimes if I put the pants up here, I feel like it kind of hides the. You see how it kind of hides the like the belly hanging out or whatever, or the loose skin, but it feels awkward. So I just like put it down here. Also, this is really weird for me to like show this part of me because I am very self-conscious, but I think over time, like I feel a lot better in my skin or more comfortable. And like this is just the reality of like how I look. Like, yeah, like this bothers me, but I mean, I'm learning to be okay with it and telling myself, you know what? Every day you're going to the gym, you're lifting weights, you're working on your core, and so hopefully, and now that like the last 2 days, I haven't been drinking diet soda, diet pop. I say soda because I know most of you probably call it soda, and I'm trying to relate to most people, but I feel like because I'm only drinking black coffee now and just water. So for the last 2 days, that's all I've been drinking, black coffee and water. And I feel like I'm doing that because I'm trying to get the autophagy effects. And if it can help with the loose skin, I might as well, right? As long as I can keep going without drinking the diet pop while I'm fasting. That's my hope. That's my hope. So, but yes, that was a quick fit check for you guys. Um, okay. I think there are other super chats. What am I missing? TO. Oh my God. Also, TO gifted 5 memberships. Guys, this is crazy. Um, TO, I did not know this was a thing. I hope, okay, first of all, TO, thank you for gifting memberships to people. That's a generous donation on you for others. Thank you so much for gifting that. If you received a membership from TO, please thank TO for such a generous donation. If it is part of the autophagy group, that's great. I'd love to see you on the next Wednesday live stream. But either way, regardless of whatever membership that is, TO, thank you so much for the donation. Thank you for the support. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I need to scroll up because oh, it only offered the OMAD, but if you change it to the autophagy, we'll see what happens next month. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'll take a look at that. Thanks, Kelly. Um, okay, where am I at here? Uh, Born Free asks thoughts on juicing or smoothie fasting. So I know this is a thing, and I know people will perform juice fasts and will perform smoothie fasts. There are other types of fasts too where foods are allowed. And I mean, that's really your call. For me, okay, I'll tell you how I feel personally about these fasts. I mean, if these fasts will help you lose weight and continue prolonging you not eating or staying in a calorie deficit, I mean, by all means, go for it. Sometimes, though, I think that if you are juicing or you're taking something, then inherently you're breaking your fast. You're letting your insulin spike, and then you're not getting the effects of your body burning fat. But that's going to depend from person to person. So, technically, for me, if I was using my timer and I were to drink a smoothie, I would probably stop my timer. But that's me. Other people, it might be different. Um, but that's kind of how I feel about it. Really, the way I think is I want my body to be in fat burning mode for as long as it can. So I just try to go as long as I can without consuming food. I guess for me, the worst case offender would be me drinking a diet pop every once in a while, or a diet Coke, diet Pepsi, whatever. Um, but I mean, I've actually tested my blood sugar after taking a diet Coke, and it does nothing to my um, blood sugar. It doesn't spike it at all. Just FYI for people who are wondering. I've tried it and it hasn't done anything. But those are my thoughts on it, Born Free. It doesn't mean that like you can't do it, especially if you're finding that you're losing weight. I mean, that might be a good stepping stone into then eventually cutting back on it, or just going water, or doing water and coffee, or water, coffee, and tea, and drinking that unsweetened or black. Um, okay. Scrolling down here, uh, Krish asks, "How do you manage hunger? Do you take caffeine?" I do take caffeine. I drink black coffee, I drink unsweetened tea, and I'll drink an occasional Diet Coke, but I have not now in the last 2 days, and it's awesome. Um, how do I manage hunger? I have a lot of videos on that. I talk about ways to stay busy. I talk about, you know, watching something on TV, going for a walk. Sometimes watching people eat is helpful. That's going to depend per person. Me being really busy at work is helpful, but one thing that I think I'm going to start talking about too is also just accepting hunger and accepting that hunger is part of the process. I've talked about this through coaching, is that sometimes you're going to be hungry. It's part of life. We're humans and it happens. And hunger is that part of the body that is telling your brain, or it's the addiction of food, telling your brain that you need to eat, even though you're not hungry. But hunger sometimes is about accepting it and knowing that, oh, my body's telling me I'm hungry. It's either because I'm addicted to food, I'm addicted to carbs, or that now the body is going to go start using fat for energy because it can't find it anywhere else. And using fat for energy means you're going to lose weight, means that you are doing what you need to do. Sometimes accepting that hunger is an actual way to help manage hunger, if that makes sense. I know that sounds a little crazy, but if you are looking for more of the other ways of managing hunger, take a look at some of the videos I've had. I think I have videos specifically on battling hunger. So feel free to take a look, Krish. Thank you for the question. Thank you. Thank you. Um, okay. Scrolling down here. Marlana, did you get some new tattoos? I did. So yeah, you know what? This is a little, I'm very surprised that you noticed. I feel like you guys know me so well that you noticed that I have new tattoos. I actually went to get new tattoos yesterday. So I'll just share it. So if you see, you can see it's colored differently here. These tattoos I have here are over, I think they're 17 years old. I got these so long ago and I never really took care of my skin properly. Like when someone asked me if I moisturized, like I don't put anything on my face or anything. And like this, I'm sure has gotten a lot of damage from the sun. I've had the person who's my new tattoo artist kind of touched up on the blue I have here and touch up on the blue and red and the blue and red here. This is the Chicago flag, by the way, for those that don't know. This is if you look at a uh, Vienna Beef is a hot dog company, and it's like the only hot dogs I eat, and they're Chicago based. But yes, these are new here. You guys see the loose skin right here? This is what happens when you wear a size large boy shirt is the sleeves are short, but you can see the loose skin is right here, guys. And part of what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to like gain more muscle like on my triceps and biceps and stuff to see if it'll help with the loose skin. But yes, this here is new. Um, I have not gotten tattoo work in almost 20 years. So it's the first one in a while. And I wasn't sure how it was going to feel, but I will say anything on this inner part is always painful. See this loose skin? Anyway, for those that ask, yeah, I have loose skin. I have loose skin here too, if you see it. Um just FYI. So, okay. Let me scroll down. Marlana, thanks for the question. I'm so surprised that you noticed. Uh TV asks, have you tried using any fat burners? No, I don't use any of that. I don't even want to think about using it. I I have like no desire because I know that fasting works for me, which is why I don't take any kind of meds or have considered surgery or anything like that. So, TV though, thank you for the question. Thank you. Thank you. Names Policy became a YouTube member. Names, did I thank you? I don't know if I did. Either way, thank you for the support. Thank you, Names Policy. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Glad to have you as part of the Finally Fasting crew or Finally Fasting family. That's what I say, not crew. I was going to say squad, but Finally Fasting family. I like that. I like that one. Jazzy asks, what do you use? What app do you use for fasting? I use the Zero app. I talked about it earlier on the stream too. I use the Zero app, but I don't pay for it. If you use the Zero app, do not pay for it. I mean, unless you want to, but I only use it to time my fasts. So I wouldn't worry about it. If you're looking for something that I don't think asks you to pay, take a look at the Life app. I think the Life app, a lot of people use it and I think they like it. So take a look at that too. Jazzy, thank you for the question. Oh man, how am I going to say this name? You're going to have to tell me later in the chat how to pronounce this. So please, if you can phonetically tell me. Tayabe, am I saying that right? Tayabe Shalmani with a $10 Canadian super chat. Thank you, Tayabe. I'm probably butchering that. So please let me know. Or is it Tabe? I'm not sure. Either way, thank you for the support. Thank you for the donation. Hi, Jerome. Your determination is inspiring. Thank you so much. Do you find it hard to lift heavier when you're deep into fast? Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm not trying to lift heavy anyway. Now that I'm going to start eating more frequently because I'm in maintenance mode, I will probably start to focus lifting heavier. But yeah, especially if I'm like 4 days fasted, I don't think I lift as heavy as I typically do. I also know that I lift heavier the day after a refeed, almost always. So definitely it is a thing. But some days, even if I'm on 3 days in, sometimes I feel like I have all the energy in the world. So really that answer is it depends. It depends. Also, did you experience more loose skin the first or the second time you lost weight? I feel like the loose skin is similar. I actually have not dug that deep into it, but I have a good amount of loose skin. Again, loose skin on the neck here. I have it up here too. It's just because I have a beard, it kind of hides it, which I feel like is a little fortunate. The upper arms, just like I showed earlier, but most of the loose skin, and I don't think I'll ever lift my shirt up, but I guess you never know. But the loose skin is mostly here, but I also have like loose skin like back here too. So other places I have loose skin is on my upper inner thighs. These are places I never thought I would ever get loose skin, but most of it is on my lower belly for sure. So just FYI. And it's also why I'm trying to maybe dig into doing autophagy and laying off of the diet pop and seeing if that actually might help a bit. I've said this before, but now that I'm in maintenance, my plan is to go 1 year to maintain and then figure out if I even want to do anything about the skin. I think the only thing that really makes me a little self-conscious is this skin here, right? You'll see, right? You guys can see how it affects, right? Especially when I like push onto it. But it's also weird that I do that because I would have never done that before, but I'm like, this is just the reality of where I'm at right now. But we'll see. My goal is to at least maintain the weight for a year and then figure out if I want to do anything about it. Right now, I don't even know if I want to. Right now, I think I just want to live with it and like see where I'm at and see, where I can go from there. So, Taiba, regardless, thank you for the super chat. I know I'm hoping you're gonna phonetically spell it for me so I can pronounce it later. Okay, scrolling down here, there is another member, Blade by Nish. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Blade by Nish. Thank you for the huge donation as well earlier. So thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Sherry Morgan asks, Jerome, what's your favorite pizza place in Chicago? Do you like deep dish like Uno's or no? So, okay. Great question. But my favorite here's the thing that people might not know about Chicagoans is, yeah, we like deep dish, but deep dish is a novelty thing. Most of the time, we only do deep dish when we're actually craving it every now and then. But I'll tell you this, most people who eat deep dish, it's because people are coming to visit and we're taking them out because people are like accustomed to the deep dish pizza, right? Um, for pizza, the real pizza that most Chicagoans eat it's called tavern style. Tavern style is a very thin pizza. It's like cracker crust. It's like my absolute favorite. I love tavern style pizza from, I'll probably get flamed for this from anyone in Chicago, but I really like D'Agostino's, which I don't think people would classify as a Chicago-ish place, but I really like the pizza there. But there is this place in Buena Park called Michael's, and I'm really enjoying their tavern style pizza. And right now, I think that's my current favorite. So just FYI. Anyway, that's a little Chicago knowledge for any of you just wondering. Okay, let me scroll up here and just make sure I didn't miss anything. I think I'm good. Okay, scrolling down. Sorry, y'all. I'm just kind of just making sure I didn't miss anything. And actually, I think I'm good at this point. So, um, oh, Friendly Lizek. Hi, Friendly. It's nice to see you again. I remember the name. I've been binging ever since I became more depressed, and it makes me feel worse. Do you have any advice how to get out of that loop? Okay, so I'm just going to say this. This is going to be the last question, guys. I just want to kind of maybe dig into this a little bit for anybody who might deal with binging. Um, so let me say this: binging and depression go hand in hand, at least for me. I don't know if it goes hand in hand for other people, but by what Friendly Lizek's saying here, I feel like it's a similar situation. When binge, I binge because I just want to stop feeling something, whether it's being sad or whatever, or stressed out, or because I'm stressed out about work, or because I don't want to do work, I would binge to numb the pain. Typically what ends up happening after the binge is I feel like shit. I feel awful about myself. And it might not be right away, but more often than not, it's shortly after I eat. It's also because it ends up being super late at night, because when I binge, it's usually in the evening. It's super late at night. I have to go to sleep. I'm tired, but I also know that I have to face the day in the morning, and I don't want to do that. And it makes me feel awful. Um, do you have any advice how to get out of that loop? So the only way I can say this, Friendly, is I'm thinking about the last time I got out of it. And for me, the only way I was able to stop binging was to come back to YouTube. As crazy as that sounds. And I'm not saying that that's what you should do. I'm not saying you need to start a YouTube channel unless that's what you want to do. But that's what I'm saying though is I I stopped binging because I became accountable. I I made a promise to, I think at that point it was 9,000 subscribers, but now I make a promise to almost 17,000 subscribers today that I'm going to be here and show up, that I want to share my journey of my weight loss and the things I go through. And being accountable and showing up that way is a good start. Okay, you know what, Friendly? I'm going to say this to you. Um, I I'm not saying that like accountability is your answer, but if you want to, please, on the link of my description where you can sign up for a free 15-minute consultation, because I don't think I mean, those 15 minutes, it's only a one-time thing, because obviously I don't want people to abuse it. But if you want to, sign up for that. And you don't have to either. I understand some people don't want to do that. But like, if you want to have a conversation and talk, like I'm happy to do that. And maybe what we can do is maybe talk about if accountability is something that might be helpful for you, is to have somebody that has gone through this and understands that. So I definitely take a look at that. And friendly, I'm not just talking to you either. I'm talking to other people. If you feel like you're in this state where you can't get out, sign up to talk to me for 15 minutes. I'm more than willing to give my time to help people if I can. If I can help you, I mean, I would love to do so. So I know it's not easy, friendly, and I know what that feeling's like. And I mean, I'll tell you guys this, right? I don't know how many people know this, but you all remember when I live streamed on November 5th, and I cried during that live stream, and I said, tomorrow I'm going to do this at midnight. I'm going to weigh. And I did, right? And I did it and I lost all that weight. Do you know what I did after I finished that live stream? I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if I've said this before, but I binged. I binged after that live stream, guys, because I don't know why, because it felt good, because I'm so used to doing it, because it's habitual, because it made me feel like I had to do it before I started. That's like the crazy part of my brain. And I know I say that because I know that other people probably feel that way too. I think there are probably people who are like, hey, I'm gonna have this session with Jerome, but before I do, I'm gonna eat as much as I can because that might be the last time I do it. Like that is the issue that I don't think I'm the only one that deals with that. I think other people have this thought process. And like I don't know what to say. Like I can't blame them because that's what goes through my head too. It feels like it's this last meal thing, like you're going to die the next day. And it's like I might as well do it because tomorrow I'm going to start. But that's why I keep talking about don't wait till Monday. Don't wait till next week. Don't wait till your birthday. Don't wait till after a party. Don't wait till after your vacation, because that is the kind of process that will keep you coming back to whatever bad habits you're forming. So again, not a definite answer, but just I don't know, friendly. Hopefully maybe some of that's a little helpful. Again, you don't have to do any of this. I hope I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just you did ask the question, and I'm just trying to see if there's a way I can help out. So, hopefully, maybe that helps in a little. Also, like I know there's Zoom calls, but if you don't want to put your face on camera, you don't have to do anything like that either. And that's not just to you, but to other people as well. So, um, Ahmad, hi Ahmad. How to keep going when you have little kilo to lose? Uh, it is much harder. I mean, I'm in the same boat, right? I got down to this weight when it's much harder to be here. And even if you're like, well, that's not that much. I mean, let's not forget, I also did this back in 2020 when I went down to 124 pounds. Um, so I really, really cut it there. And how to keep going is I just fasted longer and I just kept doing it over and over. I knew that fasting for 4 days, no matter what I was doing, was going to make me lose weight. So if you only have a little bit to go, you either need to fast for longer or you need to tighten up how you're eating cleaner, eating less, or you need to exercise more. There's no other way around it. I wish there was some kind of secret thing to do, but I feel like that's the only way. And then afterwards is to just try to maintain that weight loss, however it might be. And maybe what it might even be is, are you really supposed to be at that weight? Is that weight too low? Is that weight actually sustainable to be at? Because when I think about when I used to weigh 124 pounds and I think about that now, I don't think that's the weight I was supposed to be at. I think about going there today, weighing 15 pounds less than where I'm at right now. I don't think I can afford to lose 15 more pounds, especially with like me going to the gym and doing all that. Like, I think I'm pretty good with where I'm at. So, Ahmad, hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully. Okay, I know I said that was the last question, by friendly, and I ended up answering another one. So that is it for today, everyone. I do want to take a second and thank everybody here in the chat for all the support. Thank you for all the huge donations today. You guys have been more than generous with these donations. Thank you for being in chat. Thank you for being supportive. Thank you for talking to other people. Thank you for making this a real community. Thank you for making this a place where people can come and share what they're doing, not having people judge them, making people realize that, yeah, it is okay to take time away from food. Yeah, we don't have to eat all day, every day. We don't have to be surrounded by food and think we have to eat every 3 hours because our brain tells us to. This is not how life was in the past. People didn't have refrigerators and freezers and drive through and pick up ready to go food all day, every day. Corporations aren't going to sit and tell you to fast because they're not going to make money if they tell you to fast. That's how I feel about it. They're going to make the most addictive processed foods they can make because they know you'll come back to it. I have not really broached this subject at all. Sometimes I'll mention it here and there, but the more I think about it, the more fucked up it is. They want us to be at that place because they want us to spend money. They're not going to make money if they tell us not to eat. I think there is some benefit from taking some time away from food. I think it is okay to feel hungry sometimes. I think it's normal to feel hungry sometimes. It's a human thing to feel. I don't think we're supposed to feel full all day, every day. I don't think we're supposed to be obese, right? I'm not saying, and I'm not saying that you can't weigh a certain amount. I'm just saying that I think our health is very important, and the risks that come with being a certain weight, I just don't know if the benefits are there. That's all I'm saying. With that being said, even talking about weight, I want people to remember that the weight on the scale does not define you. That number that shows on that scale does not make you less of a person. Remember to have and value your self-worth. Remember that you're worth something, no matter what weight you are. Me at 140 pounds today is still the same me at 217.8 pounds that I was 5 months ago. Still the same person. I've learned a lot since then. I physically look different since then, but I'm still the kind, caring, loving person that I know I am and that I have been. And so many times in my life have I devalued my worth because of my weight. I don't know if I can ever change that mindset, but I know that I need to keep reminding myself that I am still worth something no matter what I weigh. I want people to remember that as they're continuing their journey. Nothing wrong with being healthier, nothing wrong with taking care of yourself, but also remember that where you're at right now, you're beautiful. You're awesome. You're amazing. I wish I was able to tell myself these things when I weighed that weight. Maybe people said that to me. Maybe people tried to reinforce that with me, but I just didn't want to believe it. I say that because I want people to really hold some weight in their worth. Respect yourself, accept yourself, love yourself. You're not alone. You're not. I think I'm going to do this regularly now too. When I say you're not alone, I'm almost 44 hours fasted at this point. I am doing another 90-hour fast. I have been doing this now for, today is month number 5, 140 days. I have been doing this for 20 weeks in a row. This will probably be my last 90-hour fast in a long time. Just FYI, for anyone who's wondering. Because now that I am going to maintain, and I'm just trying to get myself set in the high 130s, low 140s, this will probably be the last 90-hour fast because I know if I do another 90-hour fast, I am probably going to start losing more weight than I need to. But it doesn't mean I'm going to stop fasting. It just means that I am going to find what works for me. This is a new part of a journey for me. I want this to be a continuing journey for you. Whether you're just starting out or whether you're in the middle of it, know that you're not alone. I might not be fasting for 90 hours anymore, but I will guarantee you I will be doing at least 42-hour fasts, anywhere up to probably 65-hour fasts for the time being. That might change in the future. That might change based on the way I eat, but I will never stop fasting. I will always incorporate fasting in what I'm doing. And for any of you that might be struggling, any of you that think you are the only person fasting at this point in time, you're not. I've been doing it for this long. You're not alone. Okay. That's all I have. Again, I'm sorry. I did not mean to leave. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. And now it messed up my camera. Um, you're not alone in what you're doing, is what I was saying. Thank you so much. I did not mean to skip out. My mouse hit the wrong button. I'm here still. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I will post a video soon, shortly, and just give you an update on what's happening. Thank you again. I will see you all soon. I now have to add the video that I removed because I messed up. So give me 1 second as I continue to talk and I play the outro for all of you. I'm sorry. Thank you guys. Thank you so much again for the support. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you soon. Okay. This is me saying goodbye. Bye.